Hey everyone, Bandit here. Welcome to the channel. Hey, we're back in Microsoft Flight Sim, and yeah, we're here in Queenstown, New Zealand, and we're going to do some flying in the BlackSquare Beechcraft Duke, Turbine Duke. Nice little airplane. Just recently had an update for me in the sim, so thought it was a good chance to take it for a flight. And keeping with the New Zealand theme, we're going to stay here in New Zealand. A little bit rainy around here. Luckily, Air New Zealand just landed and shut down, so it's a little quieter here. So we're on the ramp here in New Zealand, so let's get things ready to go. So the plan today is we'll just open up the baggage compartment out here. We'll get rid of the covers. Just pretend we're stowing them in the compartment. Get rid of the chocks. Put all that away for stowage. Just a quick look around the airplane. So we already did a quick walk around. And that's our registration for the day, Zulu Kilo Bravo Delta Tango. Up inside. Back, make sure that door is closed. A little quieter in here. Get rid of the control locks, the throttle locks there. Just move that out of the way for now. So I've already loaded up the airplane with, we got 2 passengers, and we needed 950 pounds of gas, I think, in the flight plan. So the flight plan is here. And the payload, we needed 950 pounds of gas. That was with some extra fuel. So I just loaded on 1,000, was as close as I could load it. And yeah, so that's all loaded up for the flight today. And we've got the TDS GTN 750 and the 650 for avionics. Some of my favorite avionics in the sim right now. Okay, so let's get the checklist going here. So pre-flight we'll say has been completed. Get the before engine start light, engine start checklist. So let's get the beacon on, nav lights on, get the battery master on. Fuel quantities check, 75 gallons aside. That's what we had loaded in, so that's all good. Annunciators we'll test. And all the lights look good there. Battery number 1 selection, so it is on battery 1. Check our volts, should be minimum 23, so that's good. We'll put it on battery 2. Again, less than 23 or more than 23. Put it back to both. And that's good. And both left ignition. So what we're going to do is we're going to look for the ignition light up here. So if I put the ignition in auto, you got the left ignition. So put it in auto, and we'll check. And the right ignition will also check. So we'll put that in auto, making sure we got the light there as well. And then it's then you put it to on. So they're both on. Left wing pump check. So we're going to look at our fuel pressure as we check the left wing pump. We got some fuel pressure. And right wing pump we'll check as well. Get some fuel pressure. And then we'll check the aux and the left aux and the right aux. Good. So that's our before engine starting. So for the engine start, so what we're going to do is we're going to hit the right starter. So this is a starter generator button here. So we'll hit select the starter. We're going to be looking for minimum of 15 volts for the start. Gas generator 15%. So we're going to look at 15% on the NG here. And then once we do that, we're going to, my props are full. I'm going to put the gas generator on. Then we're going to watch our ITT for light off, and then at 52% we're going to shut off the engine. So it's clear on the right and clear on the left. Let's do the right start first. So starter on. Hear the starter wind up. Looking for 15%. And then we'll move condition lever up to run. Watching our ITT. And at 52%, we'll shut off the starter. Oh, temperatures and pressures look good. We're about 52. We'll go off. So that's all that there. Right starter off. Right ignition off. And engine instruments checked. Right generator on. So we'll put the right generator on. Check the right generator load is below 60. So right generator load is below 60. And bus volts, we got 28 volts, so that looks good. Battery temperature below 120, so there's the battery temperatures in the green for the right-hand side. And then we'll do the same thing with the left engine start. So clear on the left. So we'll start her on. Okay, we got 15%. Condition lever run. Turn the light off. For 52%, so a good temperature on the start. %. The starter off. P's and P's are stabilizing nicely. And I'm just going to put my bottles. So there's a little gate there. Lift over the gate, so that's kind of like a idle reverse or beta range. Okay, so let's finish off the checklist there. Left starter, the bolts, condition lever, ITT was good. It's off, engines check, left generator on. So we'll put the left generator on. Check the load there. Splits the load between the two. Got 28 volts is good. And battery temperature should be below 140, and they're both in the green there. So that's the starting. So after start checklist, lights is required. So we just have the beacon and landing light on right now. Weather radar, we can put that into standby mode. And we'll get the avionics master on. Converter to main. Converter fail and NZCH is out. Cabin temperature mode as desired. So right now we're 9 degrees. It's not too cold, so I'm just going to leave it off because we have to turn it off for takeoff. So I'm just going to leave it off for now. Parking brake release and then brakes check. And then we're ready for a run up. I think we'll do the run up here because it's a really long run up. And so what we'll do is we'll load our route first. I'm going to bring those back a little bit there. Okay. And we'll load the route first, and then we'll do the run up. Anyway, if you're new to the channel, yeah, thanks for joining me today. Again, I'll hit that subscribe button, sign up for notifications so you can see videos like this when I put them on in the future. Anybody here right now watching, feel free to pipe in the chat if you have any questions or like to talk about anything about the Duke. Great airplane to fly. Okay, so let's do the avionics next. Get that going. Let's get our flight plan. So our flight plan is pretty straightforward out of here.
TOS, system test okay.
So it's just the Dovum 4 Alpha to Adlup, and then from there it's direct to the airport. So it's pretty straightforward. We'll look at that in a second. And so let's just select a procedure then. Clear that message. So if we look at the procedure, departure out of here, it's going to be the Dover 4 Alpha, Alpha runway 5. We can load that up. Perfect. And then that's going to take us right to Adel up there, and then we'll put in our destination of NZOU, which is Oamaru. So that's our destination. So we're going to fly there, and the plan today is we'll simulate, we should be able to see the runway with the weather, but we'll simulate that there's aircraft disabled on the runway, blew a tire or something, so we're going to have to go to our alternate. And so we're going to do missed approach and a diversion to our alternate, which is going to be Christchurch. Okay, so let's look at the flight plan. I'll just show you the charts here. Get nice and zoomed in on this so we can see it well. So we got the airport here. We're in Queenstown. And we'll go full on that, so just show you what we're going to be doing here. Parked over here on the ramp. We got 122.8 in for ATC. We're going to squawk 2000 for the, put in our call sign, Zulu, Kilo, Bravo, Delta Tango. And we're in standby right now, so that's good. I don't know why that didn't take. Okay, yeah, so we're going to taxi out by probably Charlie 1, Alpha 4. We can do an intersection departure. That's lots of runway. It's going to be about 4,000 feet of runway remaining. We'll take off on runway 5. And then for the departure, we're going to and then we're going to go up to our cruise altitude after. That's just a ATC restriction 9. And then we're going to go up to our cruise altitude after. That's just a ATC restriction 9,000 or below. But we don't have any ATC here on VATSIM, so we'll just put that in for now, and then we'll go with that for initial altitude. Then we've got where are we? Bugsy. QN 878, 7,000 feet or above. Almal 7,500 or above. And then we got Redall below 250, that's ATC assigned. Max 185, shouldn't be an issue. And then off to Bassos and Adelup. And we got Bassos and Adelup, so that's our route. And then from there is direct to the airport, so that looks pretty good. So our route's all good. So there's nobody around here, we're nothing behind us, so I think we'll just do our run up here instead of taxiing up to the runway. And then we'll head out, so we'll get back into the checklist here. It's a long run up, so I could treat it as a as if we've already done a flight today and maybe skip the run up and then just go on to the if anyone wants to see the run up in the chat, just let me know, and then otherwise I could just move on to the taxi and before takeoff checklist. It does take a long time. Okay, we'll start with it anyway. Parking brake is set. Annunciators will test. And all the annunciators are good. No compass slave, so pull it out to adjust, but we got our heading of 265 and 265, so that looks good. Fuel selectors put in cross feed. Okay. Power levers up to 2050 RPM. So I got the parking brake set. Got my feet on the brakes just in case. So we'll take it up to 20 We'll take it up to 2050 RPM. So nice and slow here. See the airplane just holding on the brakes there. That's pretty close. 2050, a little bit high, but okay. So we got we'll do prop governor tests, and it should go to 2,000 RPM. I'll get them up to 2050 here. Okay, and the prop governor test, so the buttons are right down here. So I'll just hit the first prop test. That takes it to roughly 2,000, and the second prop test, and roughly 2,000. Prop governor tests are good. We'll take it up to 2190. Just keeping an eye on our brakes. Okay, so we got a little bit high on the side, 2190. Bring this one up a little bit more. That's pretty good. And we'll just exercise our propellers to 1500. So first propeller, 1500, and second propeller, 1500. Okay, those are good. Do a fire detection test. So that's fire detection test. Is right there. So we've got the left fire, right fire, and we should see the fire lights down here as well. I'll just do that again. So there we go. Left engine, right engine, and the fire lights down there. So that's good. The left generator will hold and reset. So we've got the left generator hold and reset. Goes to 0 amps. And the right generator will hold and reset. And the other one takes a load and goes to back up to normal, splits the load nicely. So that's good. Right generator, check those. Load sharing, they're good. And power levers back to idle. Okay. Oil doors open. So we get the oil doors open. Ice deflectors on. Instrument air is in the green. And that is over right here. Instrument air is in the green and no lights. Cockpit window is closed. Cabin altitude. Field elevation. So the elevation here is set the B-bug for baro, and it's about 1,150 feet. So we'll set so cabin pressure, field elevation, cabin differential is 0. Cabin differential, this out of the way, is pretty close to 0. Just going to double check the field elevation here, because I might not be on live weather. This is something I've been noticing lately. Yep, no, I am on live weather. Field elevation is around 300 feet actually, so we'll set that down to 300 feet. Yeah, I wonder why it's saying 1,000 feet here. Interesting. 1,200 feet. Okay, anyway, differential is close to 0. Climb rate set to 10 o'clock. That's good. Cabin altitude goal we'll set below field elevation, so we'll set down to below field elevation. Cabin pressure test, so we'll put it in the test, and we should see a differential is observed, and we should see the descending on the cabin altitude there. Cabin altitude goal will set the first cruise altitude, so we're going to cruise at 15,000 feet, so I'll put that in. And that's it for the cabin pressure. I'm just going to toggle this live weather, make sure that's correct. That is the correct altimeter. If I look up the weather, let's go see if we can get the Queenstown weather here. NZQN weather data, and it's 1015. Okay. Oh, sorry, yeah, the elevation is 1160. It is 1160. Okay, I was just reading it wrong. I think I was reading it in meters there. 328 meters, yeah. Okay, so that is good altitude. Back to map. Okay, so we'll continue on with the checklist here. I told you it was a long checklist. So now we start with the de-ice stuff. So ice door enunciator are both on, and oil door enunciators are both on. So we got the ice door enunciators are on, and the oil door open lights are on. Ice deflectors as required, so we can leave them off for the propeller heat on. Okay, so we'll turn the propeller heat on left and right. And we're going to check propeller amps. So we're going to do the propeller heat ground test, and we're going to check the amps. So you can see prop amps 17, and if I hold it, it should cycle over to the other side. So prop amps are on down here, and it should cycle over to, we got 17. I might not be doing something right here, but it should cycle between the two. We shut the left prop heat bomb, we can do a ground test, and it comes up over on the other side there. Okay, so we'll say that's good. Prop heat off, so both props heat off, windshield heat on, and that's on, and we got in the green there for the windshield heat off. Left pitot heat on, and we're going to just check for minor bumps. So we're going to check all four of these, and we're just check for minor bumps in the load of the aircraft. So with the right on, just a minor jump and off. Same thing with the left. And the fuel vents. And they're all good. Okay. Heating switches all off. And surface de-ice, we're going to go to manual. We'll surface de-ice to manual, and we hold it, and then we're going to be looking for the pressure over here, should be in the green. So I'll just zoom out here so we can see that. So we got a pressure 15 to 20 psi, yep. That's all good. Surface de-ice off, fuel selectors back to on. Okay. Then we got pitch trim power on, so we're going to put the pitch trim power on. Electric trim we're going to check, so I'll bring the yoke out here, and we'll check the electric trim. Electric trim checks. Autopilot test. Okay, we're going to just put it in autopilot test, and we're just checking the lights here. The lights look good. Heading bug, we're going to set to 30 degrees to the left. Autopilot master, we're going to engage. And we'll put our flight director on too, and we should see the heading bug. So we should see heading mode engage. We've got heading mode up there. Yoke movement, flight director, bank left. And a heading bug, we're going to bring it 30 degrees to the right. And we got the flight director movement and the heading bug. And the yoke is going to go to the right, so that's good. We'll disconnect the autopilot. So pressing it once will disconnect the autopilot, and then pressing it twice will get rid of the flight director. It took me a while to figure out I actually had to press this to get the flight director on and off. But that's where it is right there. I was flying first for a little while without a flight director on. I didn't think it had one, but okay, so autopilot disconnect, that's good. Elevator trim will set for takeoff, so it is in the green for takeoff there. Flaps will check the operation, so flaps, look outside, we can see our flaps move into takeoff. And again, we'll look outside and flaps are at landing and approach. And we'll cycle them up. And then flaps are up, and then we'll set flaps for takeoff. Okay, windows close, cabin door enunciators are out. Ignition as required, so we'll just put that in auto. Flight controls are free and correct. Rudder is good. Flight controls are free and correct. Altimeter is set, departure is set, so let's put the runway heading of 053. And our initial course should be 053 as well, so we'll put that in as well. Those are set. And takeoff heading set, panel lights, we'll leave them bright for takeoff and parking brake. And that completes the run-up. There we go, I told you it was a long checklist, but we got through it. Okay, so that's the next is before takeoff checklist. So check our oil temperatures are good. Battery temperature is below 120, and you can see over here, they're both at the bottom of the gauge, so they're good. Air conditioning is off, so we never turned it on. Lighting as desired. Transponder, we'll put it in alt mode because we're going to start taxiing here, so I'll put that on now. I don't know why my Zulu Kilo EDT enter. Oh, it did take it this time. Oh no, it doesn't want to stay for some reason. Transponder, alt mode, weather radar, we can put it on. We got a little bit of weather climbing out here. Put it on. And then the takeoff is going to be power levers up, brakes release, engine instruments check. So we're going to set 1260, which is just at the bottom of the red there. And then ITT less than 805, it'll be gear up. Our rotate speed is going to be 98 knots based on the weight we're at. And then retract the flaps at 120, and then autopilot when we want it, and then we'll check the cabin differential, and then landing light off. So I think we're already a taxi. So I got the taxi chart, I'll zoom in here. And I'll make a broadcast on to Batson. Traffic, it's Duke Bravo Delta Tango. We are on the south part of the apron. We'll be taxiing Charlie 1 Alpha 4 for an Alpha 4 intersection takeoff runway 5. Okay, so we release the brakes, taxi light on, check the brakes. Brakes are good. Go to the right here. Not the greatest visibility in the Duke. You got these big engine cowlings in front of you here. This is the bespoke airport for Queenstown. There's a couple of airliners that came in here earlier, but they don't appear to be here now. Okay, looking at the windsock straight ahead, doesn't look too bad. A little bit of a crosswind, so not too bad. Take that. Okay, so we're coming up. We'll get our P2 heat on. We don't need any de-ice. I'll put the fuel pumps on. Taxi light off. Strobe light on. Landing light on. Okay, looks clear as far as I can see to the left. Queenstown traffic, it's Duke Bravo Delta Tango, entering runway 5, taking off runway 5 on the Dogma 4 Alpha departure Queenstown. Okay, I think everything's all good to go. Noticed one of my engines wasn't in auto there, but just putting them on now. So the annunciators all look good. Got a little bit of rain shower off to the left there, off to the nose. So okay, I think we're all set. So I'm going to hit Toga, put the flight director on. So we should have a pitch attitude, and I'm going to select nav, and then we'll get going. Master caution for the left annunciator. It will smoothly apply the torque. Get as close to 1200 as we can. There's 100 knots. Rotate. Pause rate, gear up. Power back just a little bit into the green. Keep her under 1200 there. Climb at about 130 knots. So what I'll do is I'll set attitude mode, and then we'll pitch up for the climb. That looks good there. Engage the autopilot. We're above 400 feet. Autopilot's on. So I'm in attitude mode. And there is no vertical speed mode or indicated airspeed mode, so I just set the attitude mode, and then I have it mapped. So attitude mode, I have a mapped button there, and then the attitude trim, pitch trim is right down here. You can see it right here. So if I move the attitude pitch, you can see it move with my pitch, attitude pitch wheel selection. So that's something you can map to. So I'll set it to climb at about 130. Get the torque back up, so we got speed is good. We'll get the flaps up above 120. So gear is up, flaps are up. go to the checklist. So we'll get so we got the takeoff checklist. We got all that. Get the line light off now. And then we'll do a en route climb. So propellers we'll leave up at 2190. Power levers, just below 1200 torque is good. So I'll just keep it as close to that as I can. Ignition auto off, so we'll put the ignitions off. And both the lights go out. All doors are closed, and all doors are closed. Ice deflectors as required, so we're getting into some cloud here. The temperature is not that warm, so I'm going to put those on. Just watching my torque as I put those on. Might get a slight drop in torque. Cabin pressure monitor. So we got a differential coming up there. Looks good. Cabin altitude looks good, and we got a slight cabin altitude climb. That looks good. Cabin temperature mode, we're going to put it on. It's starting to get cold in here. It's 7 degrees. And engine performance monitor. So that's our climb check. And those are for the oil door closed, so we got those enunciators. And I'm going to pitch up a little bit more to get the speed back. We want to be 145 maximum. Here's the altitude alert. So I'll say we've been cleared to our cruise altitude of 15,000 feet, so we'll dial that in. I'll engage pitch mode again, so you see it capture the altitude, so I'll engage attitude mode again, and then I'll just pitch up to keep the climb going. Yeah, so like I said, there's no vertical speed or indicated airspeed mode with this airplane. All you have is attitude mode. You select attitude and then you adjust the attitude pitch to get the desired speed and climb rate that you want. Okay, so the torques come down. I'm going to bring it back up. Getting above the cloud here, a little bit of icing. So I'm going to put the prop de-ice on, which will give me the windshield de-ice as well. Cruising up nicely. Getting above the clouds here. And you can see we've done our turn. We're heading down to the south now. The safe altitude, as long as you're above 10,500 feet, you're clear of all terrain here. So we can go direct, save some time, and we can just go direct to Adel up there, which will save us a bit of time. Just watching my pitch, get a little bit slow. So I'm going to do that. So we'll go flight plan, and we'll go direct to Adel up. Activate that, so direct to Adel up. Track's going to be 091, so we'll put that in our course. There's 1,000 feet to go. Okay, I think we're well clear of the cloud. The window's nice and cleaned up, so I'm going to shut off the prop heat and the windshield heat. Course is 091, and we're saving a little bit of time by going direct to Adel up there. Okay, we're leveling off, we're accelerating. And let's do a cruise checklist. So cruise checklist, so ignitions, we got off, all doors are closed, ice deflectors. We're clear of the icing, so we'll shut those off. We're already down on our torque here, so we should be good if we get a torque rise with that. Pitot heat, we'll leave it on. Windshield heat is off, propeller heat's off, surface de-ice not required. Fuel balance. So fuel is 62 aside, that's good. Propellers, we'll set 2,000 RPM, so we'll bring the propellers back. Just makes it a little bit quieter in the cabin here. Pretty finicky to set these. Okay, so 2000 RPM, cabin temperature mode as desired, so we have it on auto. Right now it's 14 degrees. We can crank the heat up a little bit here. Looking at our cabin differential, so cabin pressure is under 4 and differential is good, and we're stabilized nicely there for our cruise altitude. And I should have set standard baro because it's 13,000 feet here, so we'll set that. Cabin pressure monitor, engine performance monitor. Next will be the descent checklist. Okay, so let's get some weather for Oamaru here and NZOU. Now the problem with New Zealand, if you saw my last video, is there is not much available for weather outside of the main airports like Queenstown, Christchurch, and Auckland. Wellington, all the small airports, you have to kind of go pick up the weather from a New Zealand website, so I'm just going to take a look at that real quick. Get the weather for there. Okay, watch our speed. At about 850 torque should work good. Keep us in that 190 to 200 range. Okay, so the METAR right now shows winds 270 at 7. So, I mean, 3618 is the main runway. So that's pretty much straight crosswind. So we could probably go straight in for runway 36, and then a missed approach straight out to New Zealand, to Christchurch, which is going to be to the north of there. And the TAF, yeah, the TAF calls for winds to come more out of the south later on, but right now it's the wind's 270 at 7. So yeah, so we'll plan for 36. Get our speed back up there a little bit. So one thing we can do too is we can look at our temperature here. Down here, but it's minus 14 degrees Celsius. So now if we go up to the airspeed indicator here, and we set 15,000 feet under minus 14, that can give us our true airspeed. So 15,000 feet, right about minus 14 there, so it shows us right now 230 true. And if we go to here and we set our utilities, we can check our true airspeed in 237. Yeah, so it's pretty close. I don't know how approach got hit there, but I guess I hit it. It's deselected, put it back to nav. Yeah, so we're cruising along to Adlup, and now we need to look at what approaches we have available. So if I go into, again, if I go into the weather here for airport NZOU, check weather data, there is no weather data available. Okay, the info, we have the runways. Main runway is 1836, and that is the paved runway. They have some grass strips here too, but we're going to plan on straight in 36. Winds are right now full straight on crosswind. Okay, so we'll go and see what approaches are available. I think there's only one available, so there's no arrival. We're going to look at the approach, and we have the RNAV 36. So it's going to be a straight in by Orbel, and we can request a course reversal or not. So I'm going to select the course reversal, which will add it to the approach, and then we'll load that approach. And I'll call up the chart, and we got the RMP 36 here. And we're we're coming in by Obil, so we're going to be going eventually direct Obil for the approach. And you can see, I'll zoom in here. So we're going to be coming into Orbital here, and we're going to be doing the course reversal. So going into Orbital, these are the restricted altitudes we have. So we have we're approaching Orbital from this direction, because our inbound track right now is 09. About 091, I think it was. Go back. 090. Yep, so we're approaching Orbital from this direction here. And so the minimum altitude we can descend to within 25 miles is 8,000 feet. And then within 10 miles is 4,700 feet. So we'll use the course reversal to lose the rest of the altitude, which is going to take us down to 2,000 feet for the approach. So once we hit Orbital, we can do procedure turn outbound. Once we're established inbound, we can descend down to 2,000 feet. So let's just check the flight plan here. And we'll go down. Orbital, we got the hold at Orbital with 1 minute timing for our course reversal. Then we exit the hold at Orbital, 2,000 feet or above, 3,400 feet for the hold. And then it takes us into Urgin, which is at 1740. That's correct. And then the runway, and then the missed approach is back to Orbital with a hold at Orbital. You can see the missed approach is climbing right turn, direct Orbital, hold at or above 3,400 feet. So all the waypoints and altitudes are looking good. So what we're going to do is we're going to come in direct to Orbital. We're not going to go below 8,000 until we're within, or 8,000 will be the minimum altitude till we're within 10. Then we can go down to 47, and then once we're at Orbital, we'll descend down to 2,000 feet, and then we'll shoot the approach. Minimums for the approach are going to be 480 feet, which is 383. So we'll put that on our red alt here, just for reference. And then missed approach, we're not going to go back because Christchurch is to the north, so we're just going to do runway heading up to 3,400 feet, and then we'll look at our options for our route going to Christchurch. So when I file the flight plan, when you file a flight plan in SimBrief and you pick Christchurch as an alternate, when you get your flight plan. So when I look at the flight plan here, you have in your route description, you have your alternate route. So our alternate is Christchurch. Right now they're planning runway 20. It's 153 miles away. The route is going to be direct to Dopop, then Tango Uniform, Quebec 196 to LDAC at 15,000 feet. And we got about a 40-minute flight to get there. So on the missed approach, we'll initially go runway heading to 3,400 feet, and then we can expect ATC would clear us direct to Dopop and give us that routing to Christchurch for our alternate. So we'll show you how we do that after we... so what I'm going to do is I'm going to write down this route so I have it, so I can enter it. So I've got that route written down, and so we can go direct to, once we get clear to direct Dopop, and then we can clear out the route and then re-enter our route to our alternate. I'll show you how to do that once we get in the missed approach. Yeah, so that's the plan. So we'll say that we just had even if we were able to get in by the weather, we'll just say that our aircraft was disabled on the runway or something like that, and then we'll end up doing the missed approach. Okay, so we're making the turn at Dopop. We're heading to the airport. So since we don't have any ATC right now, I would request direct to, you can see top of descent for coming up here in 5 minutes. I'd request direct to the fix for the approach, and then so that will just take us direct to there, and then we can use that to figure out our descent and go from there. So this highest altitude, safe altitude over the mountains here was 10,500 feet. So we could descend down to about, say, 11,000 feet initially, and then our track is 040 now into. This doesn't automatically change your track for you, so you have to put it in yourself. So I'm going to go to procedures, and we can activate the approach, which will give us direct to Orbel here. So we're still in nav mode, direct Orbel. Our course is going to be 047 now. And we get a new top of descent in 2 minutes. So we can see our distance from Orbel is 50 miles. So initially I'll descend no lower than 11,000 feet, which if you look at the Navgraph charts, you'll see the safe altitudes. I'll just pull over the charts over here just to show you. So if you look at the whole route area here, you see these sector altitudes. So we got 10,000 feet, 10,500. And so everything in these areas here, as long as we're above 10.5, we should be okay in this area here coming in. So you can see they get quite a bit lower down here, 7.7, 8.1. So I'm going to, yeah, I'd say 10,000 feet is probably safe because we got 10.9 here. And so I'll go down to 10,000 feet. So we got vertical track coming in. So I'll put 10,000 feet in our altitude selector. And then we'll maintain we'll go no lower than 10,000 feet till we're within 25 miles. And then once we're within 25 miles, we can go down to that next altitude on the sector there. So I'm going to, 10,000 feet is set. I'm going to engage attitude mode and set my pitch down. You got to be careful, it climbs up on you when you engage it. It goes to last attitude mode. I'm trimming down, get pitch down, descent going. And I want to get it down to about 1,300 foot a minute. So that's pretty close. The altimeter at Oamaru was look on that website again. And it was 10:16, so we're set that for the barrow, 10:16. And let's get our descent checklist. So I'm gonna get into some cloud here, see some ice coming up on the windshield, so I'm gonna put the de-ice on. Fuel pumps are on, and let's do the descent checklist. So cabin altitude goal will set field elevation for sea level. Ignitions, we'll leave them, put them in auto. And all doors are closed. Ice deflectors, we'll put those on because we're getting into some cloud here. Power lever is reduced. Engine performance monitor, ice protection. Okay, next will be the approach checklist. Yeah, so I don't know. There we go. All doors are closed. Prop heat, windshield heat is good. Okay, so we're looking to go within 25 miles. So once we're within 25 miles, our next altitude is 8,000 feet. So we can descend down to 8,000 feet. So we're definitely not going to get below, so I'm going to put 8,000 in now for our selector. That looks good. You can roughly see where 8,000 is going to put us. And then our next altitude, once we're within 10 miles, is going to be down to 4,700 feet. This is pretty common when you are at uncontrolled airports to have to do all this management of altitude, safe altitude yourself. ATC is just going to clear you to the airport for an approach, and then you're on your own to make sure you have all the safe altitudes set. So the wind's still showing 270 at 7. Yeah, so when we get to the course reversal, we'll be at 4,700 feet. We'll continue the descent down to 34, and then once we're inbound, down to 3, and then we'll shoot the approach. Starting to clear up here nicely. Yeah, it's a lot of fun flying in New Zealand. Lots of cool little airports. Add a little bit of power just to keep the speed up. Yeah, so we're easily within 25. We're looking for 10. And then our next altitude will be 4,700 after 10. See vertical speed required, so I'm going to just pitch down a little bit, get the descent going a little bit more. These ignitions should be in auto. So that's 7 for 8. We need to be within 10, so we'll have to level off at 8. Then once we're within 10, we can go down to 4,700. I'm just using the distance from Orbel right here. The nice thing is you have this course reversal to help you lose some altitude. There's 8,000. So while we're taking a look at this, let's look at the approach checklist, what that's going to be. So we got seatbelts are secure. Cabin altitude, it is coming down. Differential is cabin altitude 0. Still got some differential there, looks good. Fuel selectors are both on. We got no fuel imbalance, 5150, that's good. Recognition lights on, so I'll turn the landing light on. Recognition lights on. Heat is on. Windshield heat. I think we are clear cloud here, so I'm going to shut it off. So windshield heat, propeller heat off. Cabin temperature mode off. So the temperature's good, but we'll shut it off for the approach. Ignitions are in auto. Auto. And ice deflectors as required. We'll leave those on for now. And then flaps approach. Once we, the approach flap speed is this number right here, 174, and that's the gear speed as well for approach flaps. And then it's 140 for or landing flap. Okay, we're within 10, so let's go down to our 4,700 feet. And I'll gauge attitude mode again, pitch it down. And we don't need to go right to 1,900 feet. You can see this descent rate's got us going pretty good. I'll bring the power back a little bit. And once so we maintain 4,700 feet till we're in the procedure turn, then we can go down to 3,400 feet. And then once we're established inbound, we go down to 2,000 feet for the approach. Here's the checklist for now. Yeah, so definitely a really nice airplane to fly, really detailed. It's a lot of work, single pilot, to fly this airplane. Very challenging. Really nicely modeled. So you can see the procedure turn there. So we're going to hit Orbel, and then we're going to go outbound and then do a racetrack, come back around. So anybody watching in the chat, if you like flying the Dukes, let me know. What's your favorite Duke? I just been flying this one recently, but I think there's 1,000 feet to go. My favorite is probably the Grand Duke. Okay, so we'll just hit 4,200. If I just lower the rate of descent, won't quite make it, and we can continue the descent as we go past Orbel. We can go to 3,400. So that would be in the chart here. So you can see the procedure turn is 3,400 outbound. So we go 3,400, turn inbound. Once we're established inbound, we can go down to 2,000 feet. There's 4,700 feet, just coming up over Orbel. So I'll check 3,400 feet. Gauge attitude mode again, and we'll keep the descent going. And you can see we're in the course reversal now. So we have 3,400 feet till we're established inbound. A little bit of rain on the weather there. There's 1,000 to go. And I'm going to put our inbound track, which is, I believe, 360. Just check the chart for the inbound course is, nope, 001. Set that. You can see we're turning outbound. Oamaru traffic, it's Duke, Bravo, Delta Tango, leveling 3,400. We're doing the procedure turn at Orbel for the RNAV runway 36, Oamaru. Should have made the call entering, but there's nobody flying around here right now. Okay, leveling at 34. I'll just add a little bit of power, try to keep the speed just under my flap and gear selection speed, so I can select those anytime. So now we're going to go outbound, and then it'll be a minute outbound, then turn back inbound, and then we can go, once established inbound, down to 2,000 feet will be in our next altitude. Yeah, so the missed approach is to fly back to Orebel at 3,400 feet. We can start that off, and then we can set up for our diversion. So our diversion route is going to be, I showed you in the flight plan earlier, to Dopop, Tango Uniform, Quebec 196 to LDAC. So once we would simulate getting cleared by ATC to Dopop, we'll put direct to Dopop in the GPS, and then we'll clear out the flight plan that's in there, and then we'll set up a new flight plan for our diversion to Christchurch. I have had this, so we're going to simulate an aircraft landed and blew a tire or had some kind of malfunction on the runway and thawed out the runway out. And I have had this happen in real life, so it can happen even in good weather conditions where the runway is going to become unusable and you're going to have to divert to your alternate. One time I had it, aircraft blew a tire ahead of us, and we did the misapproach. We went around, and luckily they had two parallel runways, so we just set up for the other runway and landed on that one. But I did have one time where it was single runway, and we came in, and this is even before we got to cleared for the approach. We were just on the arrival, and the aircraft disabled on the runway, so we didn't even bother shooting the approach. We just diverted to our alternate. And
Vertical track.
so it does happen, even when the weather is okay. Just going to open up Navigraph here again. See if there's any traffic around here. So this is a great feature to have. You can open up your live ATC and traffic, and you can see what's on right now. So you can see right now there's a few airplanes flying around New Zealand, but there's no one flying around right here. So nice tool to have to sequence yourself in. So if I saw somebody on final here, I could just chat with them and sequence herself in, no problem. But we're wide open here, so. Okay, so once we're established inbound, we'll go down to 2,000 feet. And then from Oamaru, if you look in the flight plan here, so right now we're in the hold, and then it'll exit the hold at Oamaru, and then you can see on our thing, so it's going to go Orebel to, so we're doing a course reversal right now to Orebel, and then it's going to go to Urgent after that. And you can see the approach glide path has also come active as well. So I'd say we're pretty close to established inbound. We got 2,000 feet set, so I'm going to engage attitude mode again. I just have a button on my throttle or my joystick that does that. We'll start our descent down to 2,000 feet. Bring the power back. I'll just review the minimums after we do the chart. So minimums are 480 feet. There's 1,000 to go. And then the missed approach is climbing right turn to Orebel, hold at 3,400 feet. So we'll do the climbing right turn. We'll head to Orebel, but then we'll clear ourselves directed to Dopop there. So that's looking good. We're below the glide path. We're going to hit 2,000 feet. There's the town of Oamaru there. Airport's just up here somewhere, I think, right there. Okay, we're looking good. I just hit the B button just to update the altimeter since we don't have any weather here. Okay, I'll try to keep the speed around the 140. Okay, we're looking for the glide path to come in. I'm going to arm the approach. So we'll arm the approach, and then we are in approach mode, altitude hold, and we should just get glide slope active once we get on the glide path here. Okay, I can get the approach flap out now. So approach flap speed's good. Approach flaps are coming out. And then we can get our checklist ready for our landing checklist. So flaps are at approach, and then landing checklist. We're going to check that our cabin differential is coming down to close to 0. But we're going to be doing a misapproach anyway. Wing pumps on, so they are on. Propellers we'll set up to maximum. And flaps as required. Gear will get
vertical track.
And then landing light is already on. And we'll disconnect the autopilot once we'll carry out the missed approach. So that'll be the landing checklist. So we got gear to go. Approach speed I'll try to fly at blue line. So I'll try to fly at a blue line in case we have any problems with the engine. And then the reference speed for the rotation for landing is around 85 to 90 knots. Okay, looking good. We're 2,000 feet. You can see our glide path starting to come in. See the airport right up there. Just flying by the town here. Okay, glide path's coming in, glide slope's active, and I'll select the gear down. We got gear down, approach flap, props are full, and landing lights on. So I think we're all good to go. I'll just bring the power back a little bit, try to maintain 120, and we'll do the missed approach at 480 feet, which is our minimums. Oamaru traffic, it's Duke. Bravo Delta Tango, we're about 4 miles final for the RNAV runway 36, so we'll be doing the missed approach and then diverting to Christchurch, Oamaru. So there's a go around button, so I have that map on my throttle, so I'll just hit toga. It should just pitch up to climb pitch. We'll see if it stays in nav. Attitudes, I'm not sure why the attitude flashes when you capture the approach. I think it's just saying it's armed, but I'm not 100% sure. So 1,000 feet, we'll set our missed approach altitude, which is going to be 3,400 feet. And our missed approach is going to be at 480 feet. If I can see a windsock up there. It's kind of hard to see right now.
.500.
Okay, we're 100 above. There's minimums, we'll say the aircraft on the runway. So toga, go around. We'll hit our power up. Got to climb, positive rate, gear up. Speed's good, above 120, flaps up. And nav is active. Oamaru traffic, Bravo Delta Tango in the published miss, runway 36, RNAV runway 36, climbing to 3,400 feet. Okay, so we'll activate the GPS missed approach. Stays in nav mode. So it's probably going to go up to 3,400 feet and then start a right turn. No, I don't know why it's not, because nav is active. So I'm going to have to put it in heading select and do it myself. Or no, now it's going to do it. Looks like. Nope. I'm going to go heading select. And we'll heading it around ourselves to back to Oamaru. There's 24 for 34. And I can bring the power back. And I'm going to disengage the autopilot because it's not going to level off here. It's not going to capture. Oh, because the autopilot shut off, that's why. See, it's always something you're learning. So I gotta hand fly this myself. So I got go around mode enunciated, but the autopilot is off. Okay, so I'm going to get the autopilot back on. Get 3,400 feet, and it shuts off again. I'm not sure what is going on here with the autopilot. I'm going to select altitude hold. Whoops. Yeah, see, this is hard to do when you're doing this by yourself. Trying to use 3 hands here. Let's get the autopilot on. Altitude hold. No, it's not going to come on. We'll get attitude. We'll go down to 3,400 feet. Go direct to Mobile. Oh. We'll put it in nav mode. Okay, so now we're established on the, finally, man. See, when you don't fly these planes very much, you get always a learning experience trying to figure this stuff out. Okay, so autopilot's on, nav mode, altitude mode. It's getting back down to 3,400 feet. Going direct Orbital. So let's say we want to go to our alternate now. So we let ATC know. So we've still got enough gas to go to our alternate. 40 gallons. If I look in the tablet here, and that's 200, it's about 520 pounds of gas, 30 pounds of gas, and to go to our alternate we need 448, so we got enough gas to go to our alternate, which we should have, because we didn't do any other approaches. So now we're going to ask to go direct to Daypop and climb to 15,000 feet. So we'll go direct to Dopop. D-O-P, New Zealand, enter. We'll activate that. That's in nav mode. And we'll ask to go to our en route altitude of 15,000 feet. Put it in attitude mode. We'll get a climb going. Add some power. So we're in nav mode, attitude mode, climbing. Got some good climb power on, and we're going direct to DAP hop there. So that's our alternate. Our track is 348. And let's get a checklist going here. So now we got the bulk landing checklist. Propellers are full, power levers are good, engine instruments check, landing gears up, flaps are up. So that's our, now we'll get back to a en route climb. Propellers are good, torque is good. Ignition's auto off, we'll shut those off. Oh, not that one. Ignition off. All doors are closed, ice deflectors. We're going to be going in the cloud here, so we'll leave the ice deflectors on. Cabin pressure monitor, so we need to set 15,000 feet again for our cruise altitude. So there's 15,000 feet. Cam temperature mode, we'll put the heat back on, and engine performance monitor. So it looks good. So we're on our way to Dope Hop. We got a warning there. What is the warning? Master warning. I don't see anything. Oh, that might have been when I shut the generator off by accident there. I'll just check that again. Yeah, so that's what it was. It was the generator off. Okay, so we're climbing en route to Dope Hop. And so let's load in our... so this is what you need to do. So you get your initial clearance to your initial fix. And we've got our en route climb going. Now we need to go to flight plan. So if you see in the map here, we're going just direct to Dope Hop there. That's all we have. But we still have our old flight plan in there, which is from Queenstown to Oamaru. But now we need to get rid of that. So go to menu, and we can delete the flight plan. Delete all waypoints in the flight plan. So now we got an empty flight plan. But you still see we have direct. So we still have direct to DAP hop, which is the last thing we had entered in. So that's good. Now we can go back in and build our new flight plan. So we can start off, we'll add a waypoint. So we're departing NZOU. Kind of getting some cloud here. I'm going to put the prop the ice on and the windshield heat on. Add our waypoint to DOPOP. You can see we're direct to DAP hop, and then from DAP hop it's going, oh no, so from there we're going to be going direct to TU. And that's Oamaru in New Zealand. And then from there we're going to be going to Airway Quebec, load Airway Quebec 196 to LDEC. We'll load that. And then our destination is going to be NZCH. And there we go. So now we have our flight plan in there, and we are direct to Dope Hop, and then it should cycle to TU after. Message, airspace alerts. Good, we're above 10,000 feet. I'll get the landing light off. Strobe is off. Still climbing up here nicely. A little bit of power. Just getting above the cloud. Then we'll get up to cruise, and then we'll set ourselves up for coming into Christchurch. Okay, so yeah, I'm not sure when the autopilot kicked off, but that was the reason why it wasn't tracking the nav there. I don't think I heard that autopilot tone when it kicked off, so it might have been when I hit Toga, but it did seem to follow the flight director pretty good initially. I think it was something you need to keep an eye out for on these aircraft here, so you're not familiar with the various aircraft. They're all a little bit different in autopilot warnings and stuff like that. So definitely something to keep an eye on now when I'm doing another missed approach. Okay, we're through transition, so we'll set 1013 or 2992. And we're getting pretty close to Dapop there, and you can see our route up to Christchurch. 1,000 feet to go. Okay, we're clear of the cloud. I think we'll close the ice deflector doors there. And we'll shut off the windshield heat and the prop heat as well. Okay, leveling off. It's captured altitude. And we'll set, I think about 900 torque initially, and we'll just watch our speed as we increase our speed here. So let's get the cruise checklist again. So ignitions are off. All doors are closed. Ice deflectors are off. Pitot heat is leave it on. Windshield heat's off. Prop heat is off. Surface de-ice is off. Fuel and balance. So we still have good, just 1 gallon separation there. Props set 2,000, so we'll bring the props back to 2,000. There's airspace alerts there. Okay. So props are 2,000, power levers 1150, but that'll overspeed us, so we'll just keep it around a little bit above 900 here. Cabin temperature mode right now 16 degrees. I'll just turn it up a little bit. And differential, so we're 4,000 cabin, and we got a differential that's good there. Engine performance monitor, so that's our cruise check, and then we'll be back to our descent check again. So now we're going nicely en route to Christchurch here. Try to get speed up as much as I can. We'll try this true airspeed again. So temperature is about -12. So we'll put 15,000 at about -12 there. It shows us at about 235 true. I'll go utilities, true airspeed, and we got 243. So yeah, pretty close. A little bit off. So let's take a look at some weather for our course of 348. Got a pretty good crosswind, so we got lots of drift there. Get some weather for Christchurch and see what the best approach is there. So we do have weather in sim for Christchurch. So if we go to the airport, NZCH, weather data, you can see Christchurch is showing 220 at 12, 4,000 feet, light rain, broken 800, and 2100, QNH 1015, temperature is 11 degrees. So probably runway 20 will be the runway there. So let's look at the approaches we have available for runway 20. So we'll go to the charts. We got Christchurch approach. So we have an ILS for runway 20 and an RNAV Zulu for runway 20. Let's Well, we have all these AR approaches as well. Well, we can load those up as well. See what's available. Well, no, that's in the charts. We might not have them available for the... so if I go to the procedures here, the AR approaches might not be available as procedures. So if I go to approach for Christchurch, and so we have the ILS 20 and localizer 20 and RNAV Sierra 20 and RNAV Zulu 20. So those are our only options. Or RNAV Zulus are probably more common, so let's go look at the RNAV Zulu. So we'll go back to our charts and we'll be looking for approach, the RNAV Zulu 20. And yeah, so we have RNAV Zulu 20. We'll just keep that in the background there and see what our options are coming into Christchurch. I'm just going to go to Navgraph charts here, and what I'll do is I'll run a new flight plan, or put the flight plan in that we're flying. So I need to get rid of this flight plan. We're going to do a new flight plan. I select NZOU. Add to route, and we're going to select our destination, NZCH, Christchurch, and then for our route, let's see what the auto route does. TU to LDAC, yeah, perfect. So that is our route. And right now, let's get some weather for Christchurch. So I did get the weather. I just wanted to double check it again. So airport, so 220 at 12. So that should work good for runway 20, should be the runway in use, 4,000 feet. So let's go back to Navgraph here. And we'll see if there's we'll select the runway. So the runway we're going to use is 20. And we'll see if there's any arrivals coming in from LDAC for runway 20. Got LDAC 1 Foxtrot. And we want something that's going to bring us around here, so it looks like that red one, so we can go LDAC to IDPER and then do the IDPER to Bravo, which will take us around for the approach. So we'll add that to our routes. So we'll request that from ATC, and then ATC would give us from LDAC direct IDPER for the IDPER to Bravo. So we'll plan that. So we'll add that to route. And then the approach, we'll select the RNAV Zulu 20, and we'll just add that in from final there by DIFSU. Okay, so let's go to procedures, and the arrival is going to be IDPER to Bravo from LDAC. Yeah, and that works good there. We'll load that arrival, and then the approach will be the RNAV Zulu runway Arnav Zulu 20 by vectors, and that's from that has DivSU in it, so we'll load that in approach. Surprised it doesn't give me that looks like it did load it actually. Okay. Back to the map here, we're making our first turn. Oh, now where is it going? Okay, time to go to heading mode. Back around, I don't know what it is doing here. Probably because we loaded in that arrival after the approach, so let's go. We need to activate the leg to LDAC. So flight plan, yeah, I don't know why it went direct to PIMD there. So let's go to LDAC, activate leg. And we'll get back on track here. I might have accidentally hit activate the approach when I loaded it. Go procedure. Yeah, so we just had I just loaded the approach. I thought I did. I didn't. Maybe I did load and activate. We'll get back on track. We'll hit nav. Luckily I'm not on ATC here, so otherwise they'd be pissed off at me doing all this maneuvering. Okay, we're going back on track to LDAC, so that looks good. Top of descent is just past that. 022 is our track. Okay, so let's see how this looks. So we got Rux to DivSU to PEMBI, so that lines up with the approach, so it is all loaded properly. I don't know what, must have went direct PIMD there with the, must have loaded and activated it by mistake instead of just loading it. Okay, we're back on track, so let's compare with the chart our waypoints. So we're doing the arrival. To Bravo. We're coming in via LDAC there. Whoops. Sorry about that. Okay. Airspace alert. So we're coming in via LDAC. That's 11 or above. And let's check our DivSU from there. Let's get the chart up for DivSU. And the Arnav Zulu 20. Okay, so we've got DivSU at 2,000 feet or above, PEMD at 1420, and then the runway. Minimums are going to be 390 feet, which is 397, so we'll set that on our radalt. And the missed approach is going to be track 195 to Duvos, and then to Tosig at 4,000 feet. Just make sure they're in there. Duvos and Tosig, 4,000 feet. Okay, so the looks good. Got top of descent coming up in 3 minutes, so let's brief the approach real quick. And then we'll do our descent checklist. So our inbound track now is 356. Okay, 356. And so let's just brief the approach real quick. So the arrival. So the arrival is the IDPER 2 Bravo, and we're coming in via LDAC 11 or above. We're already at that. These are ATC restrictions, but we'll follow them anyway. IDPER 10 or above, IRVAX 4 or above, IDRUX 3 or above, max 210, and then off to DivSU, and that's max 170 knots. That's the arrival. We'll transition to the approach. So the final approach course is 195. The FAF altitude is head me at 1420. Minimums at 390 feet. No temperature correction required. Runway elevation is 93 feet. We will, in venomous approach, climb 195 to Duvos, left turn on track 197 to Tosig, and climb to 4,000 feet. So that's going to be the approach. We're going to be landing on runway 20 in Christchurch. And so we're coming in on 20. And if there's somebody behind us, we'll exit Alpha 3. We'll plan to taxi Alpha, and we're going to park over here at GA parking on the western apron. But if no one's behind us, we'll just continue all the way down to Echo and then land and then taxi in from there. So that's the plan. Okay, so we're a minute to top descent, so let's do our descent checklist. So cabin altitude goal, we'll set
Vertical
field
track.
elevation, so we'll set 100 feet. There we go. Emissions auto on. So we'll put them in auto. Okay, and oil doors are closed, ice deflectors. We'll put them on because we're going to be going through some cloud here. Power levers reduce, engine performance, and ice protection as required. So we'll probably put the de-ice on as we go down descent in our descent here. Okay, top of descent is coming up. What we'll do is we'll set 10,000 feet for now, which is our next altitude. Sorry, 013. And we got master caution, cabin differential. Yeah, so that's just coming up there, so we'll just keep an eye on that. That should come down nicely. I'll increase the rate of descent. Keep an eye on that. Okay, let's get our descent going. So I'll hit attitude mode and pitch it down. So we got attitude mode, pitch down. We need to bring the power back and try to get down to 1,400 feet a minute. That looks pretty good. Just keep an eye on the differential there. It's right on the edge. Probably selected the sea level there too soon, but it's in the checklist. Okay, 356 still. Once we're by IDPER, we can go down to our next altitude. Might be a checklist item for a cabin differential here. Cabin depressurization, but we don't have that. We have just cabin differential. Oh, I don't see one. Nope, I don't see cabin differential. Okay, we're past there. Our next altitude restriction is 4,000 feet, so we'll set that. Still need 1,400 feet per minute. It's looking good. Our track right now is 037. Take a look on Navigraph here, see if we have any traffic in the area. So I got one guy on approach there, so he shouldn't be any conflict right now. I don't see anybody else coming in, so we'll just make a broadcast when we're downwind for the approach, and then that guy should be well on the ground by then. Okay, approach checklist. So destination field altitude set. And the differential light's gone out. Ignition auto, so we got the ignitions in auto. All doors closed, they're closed. Ice deflectors we'll leave on because we're going through some cloud here. Power levers reduce, that's good. Yeah, we already did this one, sorry. Approach checklist. Seatbelt signs are on, cab differential is checked. Fuel selectors are on. Fuel balance is good. Recognition lights, so we'll turn on the landing lights, recognition lights. Pitot heat is on. Windshield propeller heat, we'll use that as required. Cabin temperature mode off. So we got a good cabin temperature right now, we'll just shut it off. Ignition auto, they are in auto. Ice deflectors as required, and then flaps approach when we get downwind there. So it sends going nicely, still 4,000 feet. Shouldn't be any issue for that. Because we're not really flying a VNAV, so that's why I just set the next altitude for the approach. So we're coming into some cloud here. Temperature is still below zero, so I'll put the prop and windshield de-ice on for now. Okay, we're on 22.8. Make a broadcast here momentarily. Good there. Our next altitude after that for IDRUX is, go to the chart, looking like 3,000 for IDRUX, and then it'll be 2,000 for DIPSU after that. H1015, we'll set that now. Yeah, looking good. Okay, now we can set 3,000 feet for IDRUX. Christchurch traffic, it's Duke Bravo Delta Tango. We're 6,000 feet downwind on the arrival, planning the RNAV 20 via DivSU, Christchurch.
Present traffic, Singapore 297, short time only.
Okay, so 3,000's looking good for there. Just double check the approach. So approach here. Yeah, so we'll maintain 3,000 till DivSU, and then we'll descend down to pick up the 1,000 for the approach. So Singapore just landed. I don't see any other traffic around right now. We're going to make our turn at Idrux to DivSU. There's 3,000. And just looking on the chart here, we can maintain, we can descend as soon as we're by Idrux down to 2,000 feet. So I think we'll be okay. We'll put 2,000. We're bringing the power back to get my speed back a little bit.
Present traffic, Singapore 297, vacated.
Airport traffic, Duke Bravo Delta Tango is 3,000 feet right base for the RNAV runway 20 Christchurch. 1,000 to go. Weather on the radar, nothing major though, just some showers. Speed's looking good. We'll level off at 2,000, and then once we're established inbound, we'll arm the approach. You can see our glide path is starting to come in there. Starting to get some visuals. Okay, there's 2,000 feet. Inbound track 196. Leveling off, speed is good. I'm going to put approach flap in. And that was the last item in our checklist. So cabin differential is 0, wing pumps on. So wing pumps, fuel pumps are on. Got approach flap. And cabin differential is not quite 0, but getting there. Oil doors open. So we'll open the oil doors. Flaps is required, gear, so we got flaps, gear to go, lane lights on, and then autopilot disconnect. Okay, so let's arm the approach. We got gear and final approach flap to go. I'll fly the approach at 120. good. Probably about 6-7 miles final. Christchurch traffic, Duke, Bravo Delta Tango, 6 miles final, runway 20, Christchurch. Okay, gear down. Get the props up to full. Fuel's good, landing lights on. Flaps are at approach. We'll aim for 120. A little bit of power off. And I'm gonna hit toga, but disconnect the autopilot. I just want to see if the autopilot does disconnect when I hit toga there. Pre-landing check's good. I'll just double check again. So cab differential is coming down, wind pumps are on, propellers are full. All doors are open, flaps are at approach right now, landing gear is down a lot. And lights are on. Autopilot disconnect when we're ready. Minimums are 390 feet. And the missed approach altitude is 4,000 feet. So we're 1,000 feet. We'll set 4,000 for the missed approach. We're starting to see the runway up ahead. Christchurch traffic, Duke, Delta Bravo Tango, 3 miles final, landing runway 20, Christchurch. It's 500 feet. I'll select full flap and we'll plan to land at about 90 knots indicated once we hit minimums here. So we're 100 above. And decide continue. Yeah, I hit toga. I'm going to shut the autopilot off, so I don't know. It did stay on when I hit toga. Interesting. So approach flap. Continue. Speed bleed off. Good. Okay, there's nobody behind us, so I'm just going to let it roll out. We'll get a master caution. See engine ignitions there. Right engine ignition, left engine ignition. So we'll take it all the way down to Echo, and then we'll exit to the right. Well, welcome to Christchurch. That was a long couple hours there, I think. A lot of fun, though, flying this airplane. Definitely challenging and keeps you on your toes, that's for sure. Went up Echo to the right here. Hope a few people watching enjoyed the flight. This is payware scenery by NZA simulations. They make really awesome sceneries in New Zealand. Highly recommend this one. Christchurch traffic, Duke Delta Bravo, or Bravo Delta Tango is clear of runway 20 on Echo. We'll be taxiing to Western Apron, Christchurch. Okay, master warning, right fuel low. Wow, just in time, we landed for that. Okay, so I'll dump we got differential 0 now. I'm gonna hit dump on that anyway. And let's go through the after landing checklist. So we'll get the flaps up. So after landing, ignition's off. Ignition's off. All doors closed. All doors closed. Cruise deflectors is required. Shut those off. Flaps are up. Cap differential is 0. Cabin is dumped. Weather radar can go off. Lights is required, so we'll get the landing light off. Strobe light off. Taxi light can go on. We'll get the fuel pump off. Get the de-ice off and the pitot heat off. So ice protection is all off. Cab mode selector, we'll leave it off. It's not too cold here. And we'll just taxi straight into the ramp. Yeah, so I hope you enjoyed that flight. If you did, take time, hit that like button, share, subscribe, sign up for notifications. You'll see videos like this when I put them out in the future. Definitely a lot of fun, challenging airplane to fly, but really well. I love the BlackSquare airplanes. They're great airplanes to fly. And I'll put this in standby 2 for now. We'll take the second one, which takes us straight into the ramp, or the third one actually will take us straight into the ramp. Pretty narrow taxiways here. I'll swing it around into wind. Another fuel low light. Yeah, so we took that pretty much to the limit. Some people even watching from the balcony up there. Okay, we'll set the parking brake. Cancel that master caution for the fuel, and let's finish off the checklist and shut her down. Okay, shut down securing. Parking brake is set. Avionics switch is off. Electrical switch is off, so we'll shut off the inverter. Get the generators off. Power levers are at idle. Propellers feather. Condition lever is cut off. Wing pumps off. Fuel pumps are off. And then battery master selected to 1. And after everything winds down, it'll be battery off. Then control locks install. Let's double check, get our lights off, taxi lights off, nav lights off. Everything looks off here. We'll get the pitch trim off. All the switches look like they're off there. We're all good. And battery off. Well, welcome to Christchurch. We'll put the roll locks in. Yeah, here we are. Yeah, fun flight. Thanks for joining me today. Hope you enjoyed it. I think we'll pick up another flight in another airplane out in New Zealand here. Maybe pick it up in Christchurch and work our way up north, and then we'll do some northern flying in northern New Zealand there, and then we'll basically make the hop over to Australia after that. So a lot of fun. Thanks again for joining me, and we'll see you next time on the channel. Bandit out.